The city of Charlotte, North Carolina, now home to one of the most horrific crimes ever caught on camera. 23-year-old Irina Zarutska, seen here, had no idea that when she boarded a commuter train on her way home from her shift at a local pizza restaurant, that it would be the last thing that she would ever do. That is because DeCarlos Brown Jr., a repeat offender, allegedly took her life by stabbing her in the neck with a knife. Now, the city is facing pressing questions over safety and their response to this crime. Charlotte City Council member Edwin B. Peacock III joins me now. Council member, thank you so much for doing just that. Just first want to get your reaction to this horrific crime that has taken place in your city.
We're 18 days from the murder of Ms. Zarutska. Our city is just blown away by what we've seen. Obviously, this is not something that we normally see in the 14th largest city of the United States, and certainly on a light rail system that we're extremely proud of. It's the largest one to be put in place. Opened up in 2007, first one between Atlanta and Washington, D.C. Your listeners may not know, but most of our light rail system is above the ground. We don't have any underground subways here. So again, it's shocking and appalling what we've seen.
Well, this suspect had 14 prior arrests, and he was out on no bail pending trial at the time of this murder. So obviously the glaring question here, council member, is why was he allowed out into this community to commit this crime in the first place? And that is a question that's not only coming from me, it's also coming from DeCarlos Brown Jr.'s own mother, who said he is schizophrenic and aggressive. She says the court should have never let her son out in the community, knowing he had mental health issues and previous arrests. Is this system of cashless bail something that you would like to see changed?
Absolutely. This is a poster child example of someone who's clearly a harm to themselves and harm to others. Our police are doing an excellent job in arresting these types of individuals, but we have a court system that's overwhelmed. We have a North Carolina system that is de-institutionalized individuals that really should have hospitalization and permanent around-the-clock care. I hope this wakes up a conversation not just around the mental health topic, which has certainly been talked about a lot, but we have to actually follow that with actions. And as sad as this tragedy is, I hope that it will shine a bright light on it.
Magistrate Judge Teresa Stokes is the one who let the suspect out on no bail pending trial, and apparently there was a written note that he would appear in court, and that is what allowed him to be released. What do you think about that, and should she face consequences as a result of this decision?
Each one of these cases, from my understanding, and I also had some personal experience trying to get what's called an involuntary commitment of an individual that I was close with who was having similar type issues. It's all based off each individual case. And in the case of Mr. Brown, our understanding was that it was on a very minor infraction that they were trying to obviously get him and seek more help. So each one is situation by situation. No judge anywhere is going to ever think that they're going to release somebody like this. It's going to do this type of heinous crime on it. But again, it just points to the fact that you see a history. In his case, 12 arrests as an adult under CMPD, our police department. How do we stop this? There's clearly other individuals just like him. I traveled on the light rail system myself just 7 days after she was killed. And there's just many individuals traveling on our trains that have no business being there.
Yeah, a minor, and you know, council member, a minor infraction at the time of his release, but he had 13 other sentences where he was actually sentenced to jail time. So I think one of the things that could happen is looking at the criminal history as a whole. And I also want to ask you about the mayor of Charlotte. Her initial response was that the suspect suffered a crisis, as if he was the one who suffered and as if this was an isolated incident. There's also a local reporter, council member, who posted some tweets about during a session where you were discussing this case and violence in your city, members took a birthday cake break and ate birthday cake. And one of the tweets said, "Cake time is over. Charlotte City Council is now starting its discussion of the fatal stabbing." Do you think the city council is taking this seriously enough?
I know my colleagues and I agree that this is absolutely the last thing that we would ever want to see happen in our city. But are they taking it more seriously? They certainly are now. When the video was released, there's been a deluge on everybody's inbox, and clearly for good reason. I'm asking for my council members to respond by simply supporting the mayor's initiative to put more cops on our trains, and then secondly, to enforce the fares. most of your listeners wouldn't know that on the system that we have that's above ground, it's an open platform system. So there's really largely not a lot of enforcement as to who's actually getting on the train. And it's not been something that we've been following through on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
So the message is to most riders is that this is a free ride, and it's not. And if you don't pay, you won't ride.
And finally, Council Member, President Trump has made crime crackdown a priority. Would you like to see National Guard troops in your city if it means that something like this wouldn't happen again?
Not at this time.
Why not?
Well, simply because crime actually in Charlotte statistically is down like it is around most of the country. But we do have a crime problem, and it's been growing. This is this paper-thin statistic that most CMPD is holding on to. And I just know, having been in this position before, that it's not something that you can take for granted. If someone doesn't feel safe in our city, statistics aren't going to help a victim like this. You have to be serious about what you can actually do about this type of crime. You've pointed it out clearly through the court system where there's been a failure there, but also to help enforce the actual laws that are on the books.
Well, there's a 44% decrease in violent crime in Washington, D.C. after the federal surge. So hearing that statistic doesn't change your mind?
Well, again, each city's going to be in a different situation, but I think that Charlotte would not welcome the actual National Guard, and I don't know where actually you would put them. We're going to already have a response from our police department in response to this immediately, and that was brought out by our mayor last night. Well,
a young woman who was seeking safety from the war in Ukraine came to the United States looking for a peaceful life, and look what happened to her. She's no longer with us, but hopefully some change will be made so this doesn't happen again. Charlotte City Council member Edwin B, Peacock III, thank you for joining us.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.